War, a constant throughout human history. Imagine a battlefield where two eras collide, soldiers from the dawn of the 20th century versus their modern counterparts. Could a modern fighting force triumph over a numerically superior enemy from a bygone era? Join me as we break down this hypothetical battle, analyzing the weapons, tactics, and technologies that would come into play. Fasten your helmets. We're diving headfirst into the trenches of history. The tools of war play a defining role in shaping the outcome of any conflict. Imagine the arsenal of a modern soldier: automatic rifles, advanced body armor, night vision goggles, and sophisticated communication systems. Contrast that with the equipment of a 1900 soldier: bolt-action rifles, minimal protection, and runners for communication. The technological disparity is staggering. However, warfare is about more than just brute force and technology. The tenacity and resourcefulness of soldiers from the past cannot be discounted. To grasp this clash, we must journey back to the dawn of the 20th century. The Industrial Revolution reshaped societies and fueled an arms race. Imagine a young man plucked from rural life, thrust into the heart of a global conflict. World War I redefined warfare with trench combat, a grim testament to the human cost of technological advancement. Our young soldier, trained to endure hardship, faces a world of mud, blood, and artillery barrages. The romanticized image of warfare crumbles in the face of industrial-scale carnage. Our soldier learns that survival is a matter of luck as much as skill. He witnesses poison gas attacks, machine guns mowing down waves of attackers, and artillery barrages. The camaraderie forged in the trenches becomes his lifeline. Amidst the despair, acts of courage and resilience shine through. Let's delve into the 1900 soldier's arsenal. The standard-issue bolt-action rifle is slow to reload with a glacial rate of fire. Machine guns are cumbersome and prone to overheating. Artillery, while powerful, is notoriously inaccurate. Communication relies on runners, exposing them to the same dangers as their comrades. The 1900s soldier faced a brutal reality on the battlefields of the early 20th century. Their tactics, born out of necessity, were honed through experience. They fought with discipline, relying on formations and maneuvers. Their stories serve as a stark reminder of the human cost of war. Now we can explore the modern soldier's capabilities in this hypothetical clash of eras. Fast forward a century, and we find ourselves in a world transformed by technological advancement. The modern soldier operates in a realm where information is king and speed is the ultimate weapon. Equipped with superior firepower and technological marvels, they maximize lethality while minimizing risk. Rigorous training creates warriors capable of enduring extreme stress. They adapt to rapidly changing situations with flexibility and tactical awareness. The stakes on the modern battlefield demand calculated risks and split-second decisions. The modern battlefield is a digital landscape where information flows at the speed of light. Imagine a modern infantry squad on patrol tracked in real time via GPS. Drones provide high-definition imagery, creating situational awareness. Communication is instantaneous, allowing for seamless coordination. Real-time data sharing creates a force multiplier effect. The modern soldier operates with precision and lethality unimaginable in previous eras. The modern soldier's firepower is a marvel of engineering. Standard-issue assault rifles equipped with advanced optics allow for selective fire. Support weapons like grenade launchers and anti-tank weapons are lightweight and powerful. Indirect fire support such as mortars and airstrikes can be called in with pinpoint accuracy. Guided missiles strike targets with surgical precision. The modern soldier's arsenal is designed for maximum impact with minimal collateral damage. Amidst the technological arms race, the human element remains paramount. The modern soldier is still a flesh-and-blood individual, subject to fears and moral dilemmas. Training emphasizes mental resilience and ethical decision-making. Soldiers operate within the law of armed conflict, balancing mission completion with minimizing suffering. They rely on each other for support and survival, forging bonds in the crucible of combat. Unit cohesion and esprit de corps are essential for success on the modern battlefield. Taking all of this into account, it becomes clear that the modern soldier represents a significant leap forward in military capability. They are, in essence, a force multiplier, capable of projecting power and achieving objectives with a level of efficiency and precision that would have been unimaginable a century ago. Their technological advantages are undeniable, from the weapons they carry to the information networks that guide their every move. But it would be a mistake to view the modern soldier as merely an extension of their equipment. They are highly trained professionals, capable of independent thought, adaptability, and ethical decision-making in the most demanding of environments. The modern soldier is a testament to the enduring human capacity for innovation, resilience, and, when necessary, controlled aggression. However, the evolution of warfare is a never-ending process. Just as the modern soldier has surpassed their predecessors in terms of technology and tactics, future generations of warriors will undoubtedly look back on our current capabilities as quaint or even primitive. The challenges of the 21st century, from asymmetrical warfare to the rise of autonomous weapon systems, will continue to shape the future of combat. As we delve deeper into our hypothetical clash between the modern soldier and their 1900s counterpart, it's essential to keep this evolutionary perspective in mind. While the technological disparity between the two forces is vast, the outcome of any conflict is never a foregone conclusion. The human element, with all its complexities and unpredictability, will always play a decisive role in shaping the course of history. Let's talk firepower. It's the raw, visceral language of war, and in this arena, the modern soldier holds a decisive advantage. Picture a soldier from the 1900s, hunkered down in a trench, clutching his trusty bolt-action rifle. He's a crack shot, trained to make every bullet count. But his rate of fire is limited, perhaps 15 to 20 rounds per minute at best, each shot requiring a deliberate cycle of the bolt. Now imagine a modern soldier equipped with an M4 carbine, a weapon system that seems almost alien compared to its antiquated counterpart. With a squeeze of the trigger, this modern rifle can unleash a torrent of lead, spitting out hundreds of rounds per minute on full auto. The sound alone, a deafening roar that echoes across the battlefield, would be enough to unnerve even the most seasoned veteran of a bygone era. But it's not just about the rate of fire, it's about the ammunition itself. Modern rounds are designed for maximum lethality, utilizing advanced projectiles that fragment upon impact, creating devastating wounds. And let's not forget about the optics. Modern soldiers often employ holographic sights, allowing for lightning-fast target acquisition and unparalleled accuracy, even in low-light conditions. The 1900 soldier, relying on iron sights, would be hard-pressed to even see his adversary, let alone land a shot. And we haven't even touched on the heavier firepower at the modern soldier's disposal. Grenade launchers, capable of lobbing high-explosive rounds with pinpoint accuracy, can clear out enemy positions with terrifying efficiency. Anti-tank weapons, once the domain of specialized units, are now portable and potent enough to cripple even the most heavily armored vehicles. The firepower disparity is staggering, a testament to a century of technological advancement. In the unforgiving crucible of combat, survival often hinges on a single, crucial factor: protection. Here again, the modern soldier holds a distinct advantage, their very existence a testament to the advancements in armor technology. The 1900s soldier, clad in a simple uniform that offered little more than basic cover, was tragically vulnerable to the weapons of their time. A well-aimed rifle shot, a stray piece of shrapnel, even a bayonet thrust could spell a swift and brutal end. Contrast that with the modern soldier, encased in a suit of high-tech armor that seems more akin to a science fiction creation than a military uniform. Body armor, woven from advanced materials like Kevlar, can absorb or deflect rounds that would have meant certain death a century ago. Helmets, once simple steel shells, are now lightweight composites, designed to protect against ballistic impacts, shrapnel, and even blunt force trauma. And it's not just about stopping bullets. Modern armor systems often incorporate integrated load-bearing equipment, distributing the weight of gear more effectively and improving a soldier's mobility and endurance. Some even feature hydration systems, allowing soldiers to stay hydrated and combat effective for longer durations. The 1900s soldier, burdened by heavy packs and rudimentary gear, would be physically outmatched before a shot was even fired. The difference in protection is stark, a testament to a century of innovation dedicated to keeping soldiers alive on the battlefield. While no armor is invincible, the modern soldier's protective systems give them a significant edge in survivability, allowing them to withstand hits that would have spelled certain doom for their predecessors. Section 3. Communication and coordination from runners to satellites. Warfare is often described as a chaotic dance, a deadly ballet of movement and counter-movement, and like any intricate dance, communication and coordination are key. In this realm, the modern soldier holds a decisive advantage, equipped with technologies that render the communication methods of the 1900s almost archaic in comparison. Imagine a battlefield from a century ago. Communication is a laborious and often perilous affair. Runners, young men braving enemy fire, dash across the ravaged landscape, carrying handwritten messages between command posts and units on the front lines. Signal flares arc through the sky, their coded bursts of light conveying rudimentary instructions across the din of battle. Miscommunication is rampant, delays are inevitable, and the fog of war hangs heavy. Now fast forward to the modern battlefield. Soldiers are linked together by a web of advanced communication technologies, creating a level of real-time coordination that would have seemed like magic a century ago. Lightweight encrypted radios allow for instant voice communication, enabling squad leaders to coordinate maneuvers, call for fire support, or relay vital intelligence without ever breaking radio silence. Satellite communications extend this network even further, allowing commanders to monitor the battlefield from afar, direct reinforcements with pinpoint accuracy, and even communicate with distant air support platforms. The modern soldier is no longer an isolated unit, but part of a networked force, able to react to changing circumstances with a speed and precision that renders their predecessors almost blind and deaf by comparison. Section 4. Tactics and Training. Adapting to the modern battlefield. The battlefields of the 21st century bear little resemblance to the trenches and open plains of a bygone era. Warfare has evolved, becoming more fluid, more asymmetric, and arguably more brutal. And with this evolution comes a need for new tactics, new strategies, and a new breed of soldier, one equipped to handle the complexities of modern combat. The 1900 soldier, trained for a different kind of war, would find themselves utterly outmatched in this new environment. Their tactics, reliant on massed formations and frontal assaults, would be disastrous against an enemy equipped with modern firepower and communications. Their training, while emphasizing discipline and marksmanship, would do little to prepare them for the complexities of urban warfare, counterinsurgency operations, or the ever-present threat of improvised explosive devices. The modern soldier, by contrast, is trained from the ground up to operate in this fluid and unpredictable environment. Their tactics emphasize flexibility, adaptability, and a deep understanding of the enemy's capabilities. They train for a multitude of scenarios, from close-quarters combat in urban environments to reconnaissance missions behind enemy lines. They are masters of camouflage and concealment, able to blend into their surroundings and strike with surgical precision. And perhaps most importantly, they are trained to think critically, to assess situations quickly, and to make life-or-death decisions under immense pressure. In the chaotic and ever-shifting landscape of the modern battlefield, this mental agility and adaptability can often mean the difference between victory and defeat. Section 5. The X Factors: Morale, Terrain, and the Fog of War. While the technological and tactical advantages of the modern soldier are undeniable, warfare is never a simple equation of firepower and technology. Intangible factors, often unpredictable and difficult to quantify, can sway the tide of battle in unexpected ways. Morale, for instance, can be a powerful force multiplier. A determined and ideologically driven force, even if outmatched in terms of technology, can prove to be a tenacious adversary. The 1900 soldier, fighting for king and country, might draw strength from a deep-seated sense of patriotism, or a belief in the righteousness of their cause. This unwavering morale, while difficult to quantify, could potentially prolong their resistance, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Terrain, too, can be a deciding factor. A dense jungle, a sprawling urban environment, or a mountainous region can negate many of the technological advantages enjoyed by a modern force. The 1900 soldier, accustomed to fighting in challenging conditions, might be able to utilize terrain to their advantage, setting ambushes, creating choke points, and forcing their technologically superior opponents to fight on their terms. And then there's the ever-present fog of war, that chaotic uncertainty inherent to any conflict. Misinformation, miscommunication, and the unpredictable nature of combat can create opportunities for even the most outmatched adversary. A lucky shot, a well-timed ambush, or a moment of hesitation can have outsized consequences on the battlefield, regardless of which side possesses the superior technology. While the modern soldier is undeniably better equipped and trained for the modern battlefield, the unpredictable nature of war means that victory can never be guaranteed. Dawn in the Valley of Decision. Picture a valley, shrouded in the ethereal mist of pre-dawn light. The air is heavy with the scent of dew-kissed grass and the promise of a scorching summer day. But this tranquility is a facade, a thin veil concealing the simmering tension of impending conflict. For on this day, in this idyllic valley, two forces from different centuries will collide, their destinies intertwined in a clash of steel, fire, and technological might. On one side of the valley, nestled amongst a cluster of ancient trees, a platoon of 40 soldiers from the early 1900s prepares for battle. They are seasoned veterans, hardened by years of trench warfare, their faces etched with the grim determination of men who have stared death in the eye and emerged, unbroken. Their uniforms, a drab olive green, blend seamlessly with the surrounding foliage, their rifles and machine guns carefully concealed, awaiting the order to unleash their fury. On the opposite side of the valley, their presence betrayed only by the faint hum of advanced technology, a squad of 10 modern soldiers prepares for their own encounter with destiny. They are a study in contrasts, clad head to toe in camouflage that seems to shimmer and shift with the surrounding environment, their bodies adorned with an arsenal of weaponry and equipment that would seem like sorcery to a man from a bygone era. Their leader, a seasoned sergeant with the steely gaze of a hawk and the quiet confidence born from countless hours of training, scans the valley through the high-powered scope of his rifle, his finger resting lightly on the trigger. He knows the odds are in their favor, that their technology and training give them a decisive edge, but he also knows that war is a fickle mistress, that courage and desperation can sometimes trump even the most advanced weaponry. Whispers of technology. Unknown to the 1900s platoon, their every move is being monitored, scrutinized by unseen eyes in the sky. High above the valley, a Raven drone, its silent wings barely disturbing the morning air, relays high-definition imagery of the battlefield back to a makeshift command post miles away. The drone operator, a young woman with the focused intensity of a surgeon, relays real-time intelligence to the squad leader's helmet display. "Target platoon is in position," she whispers, her voice calm and steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. 40 men, armed with bolt-action rifles, a couple of machine guns, standard grenades, no sign of any heavy weaponry. The squad leader acknowledges with a curt nod, the information appearing as glowing green text on his heads-up display. He shares the intelligence with his squad, their voices barely audible whispers, ghostly transmissions carried on encrypted channels that would be invisible to the rudimentary communication gear of their adversaries. "Eyes on the prize, gentlemen," he murmurs, his voice a low growl that belies the tension simmering beneath the surface. "We've got the technological edge, but never underestimate the enemy. They're veterans, they know how to fight. We hit them hard, we hit them fast, and we make sure this is a fight they can't win." The squad, a mix of seasoned veterans and fresh-faced recruits, responds with a chorus of affirmative grunts, their fingers tightening around the grips of their weapons, their eyes reflecting a mixture of apprehension and grim determination. First contact, fire and fury. The first shot rings out like a thunderclap in the stillness of the morning, a jarring counterpoint to the gentle chirping of birds that had, until that moment, been the only soundtrack to this serene valley. The bullet, fired from a sniper rifle nestled in a concealed hideout on the modern side of the valley, arcs through the air with deadly accuracy, finding its mark with a sickening thud. The 1900s platoon, caught completely off guard, reacts with a mixture of confusion and instinct. "Sniper!" someone shouts, their voice a garbled cry that is swallowed by the sudden eruption of chaos. Men scramble for cover, their movements frantic and uncoordinated as they desperately try to pinpoint the source of the attack. But the modern soldier, perched high on a vantage point overlooking the valley, is already gone, melting back into the foliage like a phantom, his ghillie suit rendering him practically invisible to the untrained eye. Before the echoes of the first shot have faded, a second, then a third shot rings out, each one finding its mark with chilling precision. The 1900s platoon's leader, a grizzled captain who has survived countless battles, realizes with a sinking feeling that they have stumbled into a fight they are ill-equipped to win. "Machine guns!" he roars, his voice hoarse with exertion. "Lay down suppressing fire! Find that sniper, and for God's sake, spread out!" But his orders, lost in the din of battle and the panic that is starting to grip his men, are too little, too late. Section 4, Last Stand on a Hill of Steel. The modern squad, their movements synchronized and precise, advances through the valley, using the terrain to their advantage, their every step a testament to countless hours of training. They are like wolves, flanking their prey, driving them towards a predetermined killing zone. The 1900s platoon, their ranks thinning with each passing minute, makes a desperate stand on a small hill, their machine guns spitting fire and lead in a futile attempt to hold back the inevitable. But the modern soldier's firepower is relentless, their assault rifles spitting out a hailstorm of bullets that cut through the air with deadly precision. The 1900 soldiers, their courage no match for the technological chasm that separates them from their adversaries, fall one by one, their bodies riddled with wounds that would have been unthinkable a century ago. Grenades, launched from the modern squad's underbarrel launchers, explode amongst the 1900 soldiers, their thunderous roar a symphony of destruction that echoes across the valley. Those who survive the initial explosions are cut down by a withering barrage of gunfire, their outdated rifles no match for the modern soldier's superior firepower. The battle, if it can even be called that, is a massacre, a one-sided slaughter that highlights the stark reality of technological advancement in warfare. The 1900s platoon, brave and determined but hopelessly outmatched, is wiped out in a matter of minutes, their sacrifice a grim reminder of the unforgiving nature of conflict. Section 5. A moment frozen in time. The smoke clears, revealing a scene of utter devastation. The once tranquil valley is now a graveyard, littered with the bodies of the fallen. The modern squad, their faces grim but unscathed, regroups at the top of the hill, their movements betraying the adrenaline still coursing through their veins. The squad leader, his voice devoid of emotion, contacts their command post. "This is Alpha Squad," he reports, his words clipped and professional. "Engagement complete, target neutralized, no casualties on our side." There is a moment of silence, a pregnant pause that hangs heavy in the air, as if the very valley itself is catching its breath after bearing witness to such carnage. And then, the squad leader breaks the silence, his voice barely a whisper. God have mercy on their souls. He knows, as do all soldiers who have witnessed the horrors of combat, that victory often comes at a terrible cost, that even the most justified wars leave scars that may never fully heal. As the sun climbs higher in the sky, casting long shadows across the valley floor, the modern squad prepares to depart, their mission complete, their minds already trying to process the events of the morning. Behind them, the fallen soldiers of a bygone era lie silent, their sacrifice a testament to the enduring human cost of war, a cost that transcends technology and time. Section 1. The Decisive Few. The valley, now silent save for the mournful cries of crows circling overhead, stands as a stark testament to the uneven scales of technological advancement in warfare. The question we posed at the outset, how many modern soldiers would it take to defeat a platoon from the 1900s, has been answered, at least in this hypothetical scenario. A mere 10 modern soldiers, armed and equipped with the cutting edge of military technology, were able to utterly decimate a force 4 times their size. It's a sobering thought, a stark illustration of the gulf that separates the tools of war from different centuries. But it would be a mistake to draw simplistic conclusions from this single engagement. Warfare, as we've explored throughout this examination, is a multifaceted beast, influenced by a myriad of factors beyond sheer firepower and technological superiority. To say that a handful of modern soldiers could consistently triumph over a larger force from a bygone era would be a dangerous oversimplification. The outcome of any conflict, hypothetical or otherwise, hinges on a complex interplay of variables. Terrain, morale, strategy, and yes, even luck can play decisive roles. While the modern soldier holds a distinct advantage in terms of equipment and training, the battlefield is a fluid and unforgiving arena where underestimating the enemy, regardless of their technological limitations, can have deadly consequences. Section 2. Shifting Sands of Warfare. Let's consider for a moment a different scenario. Instead of an open valley, imagine the battle taking place in the dense, claustrophobic confines of a European forest, the kind of terrain where visibility is measured in meters and the line between cover and concealment blurs with every step. In this environment, many of the technological advantages enjoyed by the modern soldier, long-range weaponry, sophisticated communication systems, even air support, would be mitigated, their effectiveness blunted by the unforgiving terrain. The 1900s soldier, accustomed to the horrors of trench warfare, might find themselves on more even footing, their knowledge of the terrain and their willingness to engage in close-quarters combat proving to be a surprisingly effective counter to their adversary's technological edge. Or imagine a scenario where the 1900s platoon, instead of being caught off guard, has had time to prepare, to utilize their knowledge of the terrain to create a gauntlet of traps and ambushes. Their rifles, while lacking the rate of fire of their modern counterparts, are still deadly in the hands of experienced marksmen, especially when those marksmen hold the element of surprise. Their grenades, crude by modern standards, are nevertheless capable of inflicting significant casualties when detonated in close proximity. In such a scenario, the modern soldier's technological superiority would be tested, their training and discipline pushed to the limit as they navigate a battlefield where every step could be their last. Section 3. When numbers cast long shadows. Another crucial factor to consider is the matter of scale. Our hypothetical scenario involved a relatively small engagement, a platoon versus a squad. But what if the numbers were to shift dramatically? What if, instead of facing 40 adversaries, our modern squad found themselves facing off against a company or even a battalion of 1900 soldiers? At a certain point, even the most advanced technology and training can be overwhelmed by sheer numbers. Ammunition, no matter how plentiful, is a finite resource. Fatigue, even in the most highly trained soldier, will eventually set in. And morale, that intangible but crucial element of warfare, can be a fickle mistress, prone to wavering in the face of overwhelming odds. The modern soldier, facing wave after wave of determined adversaries, might find their technological edge blunted by the sheer relentlessness of their enemy's assault. Their sophisticated weaponry, while capable of inflicting heavy casualties, might not be enough to stem the tide, to break the enemy's will to fight. In such a scenario, the modern soldier's tactical flexibility and ingenuity would be pushed to the limit as they attempt to survive against an enemy that seems to multiply with each passing hour. Section 4. A legacy forged in fire. The hypothetical clash between the modern soldier and their 1900s counterpart, while a fascinating thought experiment, ultimately reveals a deeper truth about the nature of warfare itself. It's a truth that transcends technology, tactics, and even time. It's the enduring truth that war is, at its core, a human endeavor, fraught with complexities and contradictions that defy simplistic answers. The modern soldier, for all their technological advantages, stands on the shoulders of those who came before, inheriting a legacy of courage, sacrifice, and a deep understanding of the terrible cost of conflict. To dismiss the soldiers of the 1900s as mere cannon fodder, outmatched and outgunned by their modern counterparts, would be to do a disservice to their memory. They fought with the tools they had, facing down an enemy often equipped with superior firepower and resources. Their stories, often lost in the mists of time, serve as a stark reminder of the human cost of war. A cost that transcends technology and speaks to the enduring spirit of those who fight for a cause, whatever it may be. As we move forward into an uncertain future, where the nature of warfare continues to evolve at an unprecedented pace, it's crucial to remember the lessons of the past, to honor the sacrifices of those who came before, and to approach the ever-present threat of conflict with a mixture of vigilance, wisdom, and a deep respect for the human cost of war. Section 1. The Enduring Echoes of War. Our journey through the hypothetical clash of centuries concludes not with a triumphant roar, but with a solemn echo. The image of that silent valley, a testament to the stark disparity between a modern fighting force and their 1900s counterparts, serves as a powerful reminder of how far warfare has advanced. The technological chasm is undeniable, a testament to human ingenuity, for better or for worse. Yet the heart of the matter lies beyond the quantifiable. While a handful of modern soldiers armed with the cutting edge of technology could potentially overcome a larger force from a bygone era, true victory in war is a far more intricate tapestry. Terrain, strategy, the will of the men on the ground, these factors refuse to adhere to a simple equation of firepower and technological prowess. Most importantly, this exploration underscores the enduring human cost of conflict. Whether armed with bolt-action rifles or guided missiles, soldiers on both sides of this hypothetical battle face the same stark reality: the potential for loss, the burden of taking a life, the scars, both visible and invisible, that war leaves on the soul. As technology continues its relentless march forward, shaping the battlefields of tomorrow, it is our duty to remember the lessons etched in the mud and blood of past conflicts. For the true measure of victory lies not just in technological superiority, but in our ability to strive for a future where such clashes remain confined to the realm of hypothetical thought experiments.